Hi, Brian Long with Workflow Home Inspections. I'm here today with a friend of mine, Cody Coffey from Cowboy Cody's Appliance Repair, to talk a little bit about dryer vent maintenance and dryer vent repair. I'm often writing up clogged dryer vents, vent pipes that are too long, screens that are clogged, and I thought it would be interesting to talk to the appliance repair guy to see how often that he's making repairs in the field on dryer vents. And then the other thing too, I think it's also fun to hear a little bit about the story, why Cowboy Cody Appliance?
Yeah, absolutely. So two main reasons why I went with Cowboy Cody's Appliance Repair. And one, I wanted to stick out like a sore thumb. I wanted to be different from my competition, and I wanted to be memorable. So it's pretty difficult to forget somebody coming into your house with a cowboy hat to fix your dishwasher. In addition to that, I'm paying honor and homage to my granduncle Jerry. He passed away from leukemia about 8 years ago. He used to be a ranch hand, and I have received heirlooms of his from his lasso, chaps, spurs, so on and so forth. And I keep his lasso actually in my van to remember him by. So we named the business after him.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when there's a good personal connection to a business when you're starting it. Coming up with the business name, I went through a bunch of them, and I went with something that made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very systematic in my approach to things. So great way to pick the name. So in regards to dryer vents, I'm seeing it a lot. How often are you seeing issues with dryer vents when you're showing up for service calls?
Sure. So I would say I would only perform a vent cleaning service right now. I would see about once every 2 weeks.
That's pretty regular.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is a lot of people don't know about dryer vent cleaning until I get there, or until Brian inspects your home. But with that said, every single dryer I fix, whether I fix a light bulb or a broken belt or a heating element, I always check the vent at the end of the service. I run the dryer, I'm gonna go outside and look for one of these things. I call it a vent exit, or it's also a louver, but you wanna make sure that these are open. If they're not open while the dryer is running, that indicates that you don't have any airflow. In addition to that, on the other side of said louvers, you should see a silver pipe of some sort, okay? This is your vent itself, okay? Typically it's a solid 3-inch pipe, which we'll see a better example of that in the next room, but you wanna see silver. If you see nothing but lint and blue lint, it typically indicates it's clogged. And the last indicator is that your dryer will produce heat, but it'll take more than one cycle to dry the clothes, 2-3 cycles, and that usually indicates that the vent is also clogged.
You're not getting rid of all that condensation from the heat that you're trying to get rid of. And I guess also too, you're going to be seeing these screens. I see a lot of times people, these are totally restricted in there.
Yep.
So seeing that mint and fur come out.
These are fine as long as they're accessible. If you can clean them periodically, once every 6 months or so, then great.
Yeah. And as far as the repair goes, so, homeowners want to make sure that they realize how insane it is. Replacing these dryer vents, not the biggest deal in the world for people to go through.
Yeah, it's not. This style is not too bad, but I typically like it more of an accordion style. This is more like 10-fold. It crimps really easily and it doesn't come back apart. Solid 3-inch pipe behind drywall is really the best. And that, to reiterate, that's something we'll see in the next room.
Well, let's go in there and take a look at it. All right, so we've got a stackable unit here, and we're looking at that 3-inch pipe that Cody was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So this right here is your solid 3-inch pipe. This is typically what you see, either the 90-degree elbow here coming from the house, and it goes up through the drywall and either to the side or the roof of the house to exit. So those are great because I can just take a brush and clean all that. That's a permanent solution. We can leave it in there, and I can usually always unclog that. Now, if we're going from that elbow to your dryer, that's where we can introduce the accordion style, right? Because that's cheap. We can replace that periodically when it's needed to be replaced. We can't really clean that. So because we can't clean that, you don't want to get the accordion style behind drywall, because when it is clogged and requires replacement, then you have to call somebody more than just an appliance repairman.
Right. And I guess that lint's getting in there probably just through the natural operation. How important is it to keep the actual vent trap clean to prevent the clogging in your vent pipe?
Yeah, it's definitely very important. So I would say sometimes I have what I think is a vent issue. I've come in and I've seen that either the lint filtration has never been changed, or there's some holes in the door that that relate to the airflow. There's some on the inside here, and they're all clogged. So sometimes it's as simple as just your lens screen needs to be replaced, or, well, honestly cleaned. And I have come into some clients' homes where I've seen the white layer, and then the blue layer, and then the red layer, where they haven't been cleaning their lint filter. So definitely a vital step to do every single time before you start the dryer.
Awesome. So, Cody, how do people get a hold of you, and what information is important for them to have ready when they request you to come out take a look at their dryer?
Yeah, so the absolute easiest way to schedule service with me is to go onto my website, which is cowboycody.com. Click on the Schedule Service tab, and then fill out the form. It'll ask you information, and that'll go directly to my iPad. From there, I'll typically respond pretty promptly, and that'll equip me the most to be able to get you service as soon as possible. Not to mention, if I have a model number on hand, I'll make sure that I research what parts are pretty common on that and whether or not I stock them and what I think it's going to cost to repair.
Awesome. Great, Cody. I thank you for your time today, and I'm going to do one last thing here, is let's just show the people the model number. Now, on this one, we've got the information right here at the top of the appliance. You've got make, model, and serial number. And also, if you hire workflow home inspections for your inspection, I do include that on all of our reports. So that information will be on your report. So, all right, Cody, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you coming down to over the Rhine today and talking to me about dryer vents.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Almost went off the rails.